Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy, and we're back for another Redline Tuesday. This time, Gerun Knarlson has sent us, or me, not you guys, a drawing for us to redline. Boop, ba-doop. So this is what the drawing looks like unshaded. That's just so that I can redline over it. And the first thing I'm going to do actually is make the canvas a little bigger, just so that we have some space to work. There we go. And for now, I'm just going to put a neutral color behind it so we can kind of, actually, wow, I could probably extend this even more. I'm doing this on camera just so that you guys know that I'm not trying to be sneaky or anything. Though I can't imagine that you guys think that. And, sorry, I'm working with a new palette today, so we'll see how this goes. This picture is just from, you can see like the mid-torso up, so that's all we're going to be focusing on. I'm not going to be trying to like make full body anatomy. I should probably have this all ready before we start recording, but that's okay. So, is this red good? Like I said, I'm working with a new palette today. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so everything is pretty well rendered so far as like, there's definitely a grasp on, you know, more advanced level anatomy here. I think I'm just gonna sort of clean some stuff up and maybe point some things out. One thing I'll say right away is I love this hand. I actually don't draw double jointed, or not double jointed, but like I normally don't draw the extra joint because I tend to do a more like cartoony style, and I'm trying to get better at like reminding myself to draw the extra joint. But I wanted to point out I really like this hand. So anyway, I saw that, you know, there's some facial anatomy that needs to be fixed, so I actually brought in a head model. Boop. And that's going to be like our helper today that we're going to be referencing. Real quick, this is from, I don't know if you can read this, but I'll put the link in the video description. This is from Pose Maniacs, and they have a tool called the Hand Viewer, and it's mostly just hands in different poses, and you can rotate it around in 3D space and kind of get some reference for what you're trying to draw. But they also have a head, which is this guy here, a foot, and I think a headless torso. I guess for all you serial killers out there. So yeah, so there's 3 extra little tidbits in there. The foot is actually really handy, but I tend to draw feet in heels a lot, so it doesn't help me out too much. But anyway, the link is posemaniacs.com/tools/handviewer. Again, I'll put the link in the description. And the head model is the 3rd option down, I think. If I remember correctly, I don't use the head too much. I use like the hands more. But anyway, so let's get started. Also, this is a more realistic head. This is slightly more cartoony, illustrated head. So, you know, it's not going to be dead on, but that's going to be our reference. Okay, so let's establish a center line all the way down to the end of the nosy, then the lip. And I think the eyes are probably like what's throwing this off a little bit. But overall, like I said, this is pretty good. I mean, there's definitely a sense of anatomy here. So, you want the eye sockets to be sitting in a little bit more, because they are like right coming up on the, like they almost look like they're, whoa, my eraser's huge for some reason. They almost look like they're, coming up onto the bridge of the nose, like they're crawling up higher than they should. So just make sure that, you give yourself some space to really like set the eyes in there. to set them back into the skull. So this is good. This is something a lot of people usually forget. This is, you can see it in the head model too. This is the outer rim of the, I think it's the orbital socket. Like it's a bone that goes around your eyeball so it doesn't fall out. And then I'm actually gonna flip this. I've been staring at it in one direction for too long and I'm starting to forget, or I'm starting to get too comfortable with this position. So I'm just gonna have to kind of guess where his head is. I'm not sure where in your sketch you drew the skull, so okie dokie. So I think the ear, so I'm trying to like blend this anatomy with realistic anatomy. Probably one of the bigger giveaways for a character being more cartoony, like a way to tell is that the eyes are usually bigger. Like there's just something about humans that we like to really enhance the eyes, and realistically humans actually have pretty small eyes. It's actually like one of the bigger errors people make when they start doing more realistic drawings. The nose is also kind of twisted, so we'll fix that a little bit. And the jaw might need to come out a little bit more. It feels like a teens. Oh, I need a better eraser. This one's kind of driving me bonkers. The jaw feels like a teens collapsed on the one side. I think I'm going to go in and detail the eyes in a new layer. So let's, I'm actually just going to go right over the ear and just move it. Like I said, the anatomy is decent. It's just sort of positioned around a little oddly, which is not a bad thing. I always worry. I used to be really sensitive to critiques when I was younger, and I always worry, like I don't want to upset anybody, so I'm kind of a tenderfoot now to everybody. I never took them personally. I remember when I was younger, I wanted to always be at the top of my game, which is like a nil thing that no artist will ever achieve ever. Nobody is ever going to be at the top of their game, and that was something that took me a while to realize, because like especially in American schools, there's like this push, you know, that you have to be the best, and they set this bar for you to achieve. And once I got into like art and art school and stuff, I realized there is no like A+ to get. And that was like really hard for me to accept. I'm a very black and white thinker too, and art is so not black and white. Sorry, I got off on like a weird emotional tangent there. Okay, so you know what? If you need to draw a triangular scarecrow-esque nose, you do it. I also think No, I don't know. I was gonna say the mouth could be higher, but never mind. You know what? Forget that. Forget it. Okay, so um the ear could just be I might have moved it too low. But ear touches the brow line at the top and then at the bottom to the nose. So that's what those lines were for. Okay, so let's go out and work on the arm meats. So one thing is that he's kind of twisted a little bit. It's sort of like this part of the rib cage is like coming forward, so it's sort of like, so like a normal rib cage would be like that. He kind of looks like it's hinged in the middle, sort of. I'm not sure if this is even like a good drawing to like show that, but it sort of looks like it's like coming towards the audience. So I think like that whole shoulder and ribby meats can be pushed back. Sorry, my sketches are just like so rough. Okay. And then one shoulder meat and two shoulder meats. So again, I'm kind of trying to so I'm just sort of making a guess at where the bottom of the ribs would be here. I had a few complaints that I wasn't correcting drawings enough, like I wasn't changing the composition and stuff. I'm kind of hesitant to do stuff like that because it's at some point it's like, well then why don't I just draw it? You know, why don't I just do it? And that's not really what I'm going for here. I'm sort of just trying to give people a groundwork to sort of go over themselves, if you will. Okay, so, oh man, you can't even see that. Oh boy, I'm trying to find a color in this new palette that will, there, black. Okay, so this hand, like I said, I like this hand. My only thing is it might need to be, if you're following sort of the visual lines of the body, which is sort of like coming down towards the viewer, yeah. It might need to be twisted a little more, like this. So that you're kind of like looking down on it a little bit more. I hate to do this because I really like this hand. But it's just an idea, you know, like think about it, won't you? So like something that's a little more like that, because right now it's kind of up and away. I mean, it's not like the human hand couldn't do that. It's just kind of awkward, I think. But what do I know? So, I think the biggest thing I noticed was this hand looks like it's somebody else's, like coming in off panel, because this doesn't really connect here. well, not literally because obviously it's chopped off at the bottom, but I mean visually, if the viewer were to follow this arm. Like the wrist doesn't connect in the appropriate place. And I think it's mostly because it's kind of lacking a bicep or like a bend or like an implication of a flex on this arm. I think that kind of helps put it there. Get. I can't see the hand. Also, I think the wrist comes down like straight almost, and you want it to be pulling back just a teensy bit. And then, so he's got his sleeve. Same thing with this one, I think, just be mindful of the character having like flexed arms, a meaty bicep. Even if he's really skinny, there should still be, or really scrawny, there should still be a little lump of a something. Because the last thing that the body eats when it's starving is the muscle and the organs. So you should always be able to see that even in starving characters. Happy fun fact! Oh yeah, you do that. A lot of people don't draw this. It's like where the divot in between the tendons and I forget the name of this joint connection, but it's where that all happens, where that all meets and parties. And a lot of people don't draw that, but I think it helps like show direction on the wrist, and like even if you don't like put it in your finished illustration or your finished drawing or whatever, when you're sketching, it kind of helps show like where everything goes. And since I can't see the rest of the hand, I don't know what it's doing, so I'm sure that it's fine. Again, anatomy looks good on the hand. Though maybe this is a little too pronounced. So yeah, I think you could just like imply it there and then let it be. Or I can see that you like shaded right there. I would just get rid of that line and just let the shading speak for the pad below the thumb. I also think the head is too big. And I'm going to keep going over it for now. And yeah, I think like the hand or the head is too big, and I think also this pose here with the arm is sort of like tucked against the torso. I think you could probably do something different with that. Again, I don't want to completely like move it around because it's like I might give you like I might draw it though, like give you an option. I'll just keep it in the file. I'm gonna go over the eyes though real quick, and then that dog of mine, I don't know if you can hear her. I'm gonna go over the eyes and the nose, and then shrink the head down. just for my own satisfaction. Okay, so eyes are sort of almond shaped, like the actual opening of the lid. Sorry, I was checking on my dog. We got her a new tent thingy, a new crate, and she's just like pacing. She wants to, and I put it like where her old bed used to be, and she wants to go in it, but she doesn't. So I guess he's squinting. Should I draw him squinting? Yeah, so my darling puppy keeps walking over to where her bed used to be and like wanting to lay there, but then that tent is there and she's like, no, I don't want it. Come on. Deselect, damn it. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna turn this to soft light for now just so I can see what I'm doing. So this is where the socket would lay. So I see that you've kind of like indicated the edge of the nose. I'm not sure how you want to do that. I wouldn't recommend though drawing like even if the character has like a really straight nose, I wouldn't recommend doing just like that skinny and straight of a nose because it kind of looks like somebody like pinched his like the bridge of his nose. So even if it's really narrow and straight, you can still draw a slight outer ridge. Maybe it's not exactly like a Romanesque nose, obviously, but it's enough that it shows like a structure underneath that is like appropriate for his build and everything. It doesn't need to be quite that narrow. This can still be considered a narrow nose, like if you catch my drift. Also, this I think is too. I think I already said that. I think it's just a teens too high, and sort of makes it look like he's sneering a little bit. And I think he's supposed to have like a pretty neutral expression. So if you just put that a little bit lower, and this. I actually don't draw squinting eyes very often, so I'm sorry if I'm not like the master of the squinting eye. Please don't unsubscribe. I promise I'll get it mastered for the next one. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I made my eraser too small. Yeah, let me try this again. Hey, I'm learning too, you know, so. Yeah, I think that's better. But I think the big thing is just you want to be careful that these lines don't come out and connect too much. Hold on, this looks too twisted to me. Let me step back. No, I don't like this. It's just, oh my goodness, that's just how it's gonna be. Not happy. There, I think that's a little more appropriate. Still, I don't know. I'm getting way too fickle about this. I'm sorry, just give me like another second. I started to just zone out and I was just sit here and like fidget around with it for a while. Also, with the eyebrows, I don't know if you necessarily want to extend them way off into space, unless that's how he's supposed to look. But generally, the eyebrows don't go that far back behind the eye socket. So, just something to think about. Yeah, I think overall this was really, like I said, there's definitely like an understanding here of anatomy. I think just some things were kind of slid a little too far off in certain directions. Um, yeah, hold on. I guess part of the problem is I'm trying to find a balance between like ultra realism, which would be more like this, and something more cartoony. And I'm not totally sure which direction you want to go. Which is okay. I mean, like, this is all just about experimentation and everything. Um, Yeah, I'm just trying. I'm sorry. I keep getting quiet because I'm thinking here about landmarks and things. I'm trying to kind of imagine where the teeth in the jaw would be. Sorry. Yeah. I think the ear could, yeah, so like the ear could even be closer, I think. But yeah, overall this one was pretty good. There were just a few little things that were, like I said, just kind of off. Um, Too wide or too narrow. Um, his face almost seems a little like stretched, I guess. I'm not really sure like how to explain it, but it just seems a little like pulled too taut, like right through here and through here, like almost by his T-zone. It's kind of pulled a little bit. So, whoops, sorry. So I would think just kind of try to centralize and loosen, exfoliate the different layers. I think you can, I'm just sort of messing around a little bit, moving things. I want to see what they look like. And I know it looks a little odd, like it looks a little narrow, but it's okay. I think it needs to be that way a little bit more, maybe. Let me just stretch that out a little more. I didn't do a very good job shaping the eyes. I tried to do the best I could. I just don't want the video to run too long, because I'll just sit there all day and mess with the eyes. But that I would definitely work on the eyes the most, because if there's one thing you don't want to mess up in a drawing, it's the eyes, because humans, that's where our eyes go. So I think the eyes would be the big thing to work on. I should have looked up a picture of somebody squinting. Now I feel like unprepared for this. Yeah, I could sit here all day and mess around with this. And then you'd all start screaming at me. God damn it, Emmy. Just move on to the next drawing. Jeez. But the clothing looks good. The wrinkles look good. I love that hand. I know I've said it before. Also, I would probably extend this drawing like just over like, what is that, a centimeter? Because the thumb touching the edge kind of looks a little odd. Though I don't know if this is part of a larger drawing. This is just all I had to work with. So, and I'm sorry I kind of like gunk up your stuff by sketching over it. I'm just trying to feel it. Jeez. I know I have kind of like a heavy hand when it comes to sketching. Real quick, I just want to mention I only have one more red line after this to do, and then I have no more. So if you want to see more red lines, or you want your stuff redlined, please, please, please send me something. My specialties are more like cartoony anatomy and some digital painting and some backgrounds, concept stuff. I am by no means a master at realism, though I do try. So, you know, we'll learn together. It's good to open up discussion. I've also been dabbling with like weapons and stuff lately, so if you want like a weapon design looked at, send that my way. I also do comics. Again, I don't profess to be the most masterful comic artist in the universe. by any means, but I think I know some stuff, some helpful tips and tricks of the trade. So if you are interested in that, I can also do that. And this is all free. You just have to let me put the video up, obviously. So, alrighty, I guess I will see you guys next time. And again, thank you to Gerun Knarlson for letting us play with their drawing. It just felt so good playing with it. Those eyes, they're bothering me. Moving it one more time and then I will say goodbye. Perf. No, it's not perf, but it's getting somewhere tolerable. But anyway, so yeah, totes. Oh, yeah, one thing before we go. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to say multiply. Wait, is that what I wanted? No, that's not what I wanted. Hold on, I'm going to like... I'm going to get angry. Okay. And sorry, I wanted to make the head a little smaller and check it out. But I don't want to really... I don't want to like wreck this. Then I would need Fix-It Felix. I think that, yeah, the head needs to be a touch smaller. And it looks like you're working digitally, so it wouldn't be hard to fix that. But yeah, I think the head needs to be a little smaller. It's just like a touch. You can see the ghost of the other head. It's just a little tiny bit smaller. And I think maybe even the hands need to be just a touch smaller. I'm stressing a touch. We don't need you anymore. So, yeah, I think that'll do it. That'll do. And, yeah, you got yourself a drawing of a dude. And okay, so once again, thanks to Gerun Knarlson for the drawing, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye!